As we have in the bottom left-hand side, the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid. It's actually an all-Team Liquid showdown in the Team Liquid map contest. Tournament finals, it's Clem. Sorry, it's Kira in the bottom left. While in the top right, our red Protoss is Clem. Let me set up a prediction for you guys. And yeah, this is a best of 7 as well. Just so you're aware. Away we go. Excited to see what these two are going to bring us here. As obviously we just saw Clem with some awesome TVP. Let's see what his PvT looks like. Has a pretty good record against Kua in the PvT matchup, so see if Kua can stand up a little bit today in this finals. He took out Bunny 4-3 earlier on as well. Exciting, man. Very exciting. A couple of SCVs. Probe's gonna fight. Let's take a few moments early on. And it's a factory coming down from Q early. It's just gonna get that double gas in the factory setting up here on Sandworm to open up this series. So that Reaper shows up and the Adept will come around chasing that Reaper about for a few moments. While I count for the choice from Clem, no surprise. He prefers his Blink play, but he has actually been using quite a few Stargate builds lately, so we'll see over the course of a best of 7. I would imagine he uses Stargate at least once or twice in this series. Reaper on the right-hand side. The Adept just going to poke in. SCV on the natural goes down as well. As the Reaper going to try and find the probes once more. The Adept's actually going to be allowed in here, so they're going to get the Reaper and start trading with these Hellions. They will shade back, though, and just delaying the CC. And one Reaper across the map is not exactly helping too much right now. It started well for Clem, ends up in him getting cleaned up as reinforcements show up, but that CC is still not building, so a major delay on the command center. Kua, does he not realize? I mean, that is a problem, but we are going to be seeing the Reaper wrapping it. He just doesn't know. No, Kua. No, it's all going right. It's going well over here. He's killing units, but bro, you need a command center. ... Ay. Finally gets back to it as he starts to transfer SCVs down, and now he realizes what was happening. Oh, sad. As the Reaper and the Hellion are going to drive through, but they're not going to get very far. There is a drop in the main base though. Marines and the Widowmine going to come straight in. A couple of probes begin to go down. Stalker's stepping over. Going to go after a couple of those Marines. The Widowmine is going to reburrow as well. And the Stalker's just going to chase that medevac away. 3 probes going down. Clem cleans this up, and now we'll see him going across the map with the Blink to try and apply some pressure. bunker here, and some Marines go down already. Not a bad start from Clem. A couple of SCVs. Obviously, Stalker's healthy. He's taking a third base behind this. As we try and play defense here, we get the Widow Mine before it is able to fire, so that's important. And now the shots continuing through as we get full cleanup, but 3 more probes going down. Order turret helping with that number as Clem is in the main base. All things going after a reactor here, but he's taking tank shots and he loses 2 of his Stalkers, so it doesn't end up brilliantly for him. That factory lifts off the tech lab. So, we get ourselves the Simpack and Combat Shield +1 all coming through. Obviously, that's a big power point for Q in this game. Observer keeping an eye here, so Clem will see Q starting to step up. Does Q notice that Observer? Obviously, get rid of that. Remove some vision for later would be great. You don't always recognize it. The Raven sat between bases, and a lot of Stalkers actually kept back at home, just positioning to make sure the Raven doesn't manage to do too much here. As our Marines step forward, the Stalker's going to come through, and a couple of tanks stepping up as well. Medevac finally retreats home. It's just been hanging around there. Stalker's gathering, just going to be pulling through. You got the Observer, so that goes down. And a few tanks will just unsiege. Pulling back to the natural. Stalker's going to fire, the Medevac falls. Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1. Continue to come up and online. The command center coming through. The barracks are still on the way. And that's Prism coming down to the bottom side as well. The Stalkers are going to get shot at as the Bio and the tanks gather in the center. Just going to step through for a few moments. And Clem actually going to lose a couple of Stalkers here, not watching and paying attention. And Clem loses 3 of the 5. Now the Prism is going to show up. Here does not have the units that I think maybe should have been here defensively and should be kept back are actually moving out. So Clem is going to get some good damage done. Mass Zealot warping as well because he realizes 0 defense. I'm going to get straight on top of abusing that and just taking advantage of the scenario. Correct call. And the Zealots are going to start jumping onto some of that Bio. A couple of Widow Mines going to try and burrow up. The other Bio units coming back across. Widow Mines still firing as these Marauders getting stuck as well, just on a move command, one of them at least. So Prism going to keep on warping in. Now Clem turning this in the middle of the map around as well as he jumps on the units that were trying to retreat away. And Clem just catching Q completely unawares, catching him completely out of position. And this all comes down to if Q had just kept that little group of units I mentioned in the main. None of this, I mean, it might start, you know, you might still get the warping off as Clem. But I don't think you're in as much of a caught off guard because now he feels panicked. He pulls everything back. Clem punishes that as well, gets rid of a tank, 3rd CC. Yet to land here from Cure, as obviously Clem takes a 4th base in the meanwhile in that forward position. So Clem gets that 4th base set up. A couple of Vikings going to try and jump on top of the Prism. Prism goes down. A Bio will jump on the Zealot. So the Zealot will also drop. I'm just going to be seeing our Stalkers going to hit the command center out the front. The Bio going to stim over. A couple of Stalkers going to have to step away. Sentry will also fall. As the CC will land down in position once again. The Raven still putting some work in. And we've seen 10 SCVs dropping down already here, +2 attack, and extended thermal lands both coming around. The order turret drops in, and a couple of probes are going to get picked away at. The army of Clem retreating as we speak. Green Marauder Viking, +1 armor. Continues to come through. I was going to see a few more Zealots warping in, the extended thermal lands, and the Colossus coming up as well. More warp-ins. Again, the army over here gets the pylon. And those Zealots are going to continue to come down the bottom. Going to end up in the 3rd base. Piling up at the top. Clem coming down the right-hand side. This Zealot Stalker Colossus army positioning to try and get a catch on Q's forces. Uh-oh, awkward for Q because now he's on the wrong side of the Dragon Teeth. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's going to mean he's... I mean, in a way, it works for and against him. It works against him if he has to run through. It works for him if the Zealots try and charge in. So it depends really how the fight happens and what each player decides to do here. Again, Zealots can slip through those little dragon teeth, but the Stalkers cannot. They're a little bit too chunky. As you do see, our Zealots going to charge forward. Just going to get rid of the Siege Tank. Marine Marauder going to go after the Zealots. We continue to chase through as multiple Zealots go down. The battery taking some shots. The other unit showing up. Anti-arm missile hits a lot of these Stalkers. We warp in another 8 Zealots here. And we continue to chase on through. Clem is pressing on upwards. A lot of this bio is still going down, and the Protoss units are able to push Cure away for now. As Cure, nothing else going on is the problem. Like 5 bases setting up from Clem, and if Cure could have snuck a medevac in over here during this, that could have been cool. Forced the warp in over there. So instead, Clem's only got to focus on one place, and that makes the life of a Protoss player so much simpler. If you're only looking at one position at a time or one location on the map, life really does, like I say, kind of simplify itself in a big way. As the Bio Viking comes back over, the army of Clem repositioning in the center here is... Supply-wise, it's still very close. It's just I am worried that Clem's gotten up to so many bases so quickly in comparison to Cure. He definitely was slow to take his 3rd. He's slow here to take his 4th. Those are definitely issues he currently faces right now. Zealot Sentry Stalker stepping through the middle of the map here. These few Zealots gonna go get a cancel. You have a DT. Few DTs starting to show up and move around. A couple of Widow Mines set about. This DT steps straight into this mineral line. SCV started full, and this is going to be an issue for Kira as well. Has one scan. DT in the main base. I mean, there's another scan. There's more scans available. It's just having to deal with this. And also, Clem's at the front. The Vikings are on their own. They're just dying, trying to kill a Colossus. And now 4 Colossus are going to go fairly uncontested here. Some units will start to break through onto them, and Clem's going to lose one. He's going to take damage on a second, but he's going to win this game as this fight is just good enough. Cure has to say GG. Clem pulls Cure apart, is what it comes down to, right? First with some of the Zealot 2 here in the top left with the 1-0 lead in this final. What were the predictions at, by the way? 73% predicted Clem. I think that's a fair prediction. I think Clem has shown us that he's very capable of taking on Cure. There's our blue Terran in the bottom right. Making sense. Alright, game number 2. As we go into Steam City with all of the debris out in the center. Yeah, lots of rocks that are going to dictate kind of how the map changes over time and how things are going to look. Obviously, initially it's very much so compacted to this singular lane, but a little more ups and downs and arounds as you clean those rocks out and armies can more easily access the higher grounds and lower grounds more simply. Probe steps over. Sniper Core and the Nexus coming through. And take a few moments here to just settle down on, like I say, a map which has again been another of the. This map, well, it's really fun. This TLMC set of finalists is really interesting because, like I say, there's a lot of maps that are just like they've been in this tournament, they've shown us some good games, and they've just been solid, you know? And I think Steam City is very much so one of those maps where it maybe doesn't stand out because it's just been good, It doesn't have anything super crazy going on, you know? So it's just been a solid contender, and it's been just fun to watch some games of. If you do enjoy the maps, guys, do not forget to vote. !TLMC in the chat will give you the link. And you should absolutely go vote on these maps in the TLMC and vote for your favorites. Vote for which ones you think deserve to win the 20th Team Liquid map contest. Going to step up. The devs are going to be there. The Hellion going to step through as well. And there's a Hellion coming about. A couple of devs move through. Again, Dark Shrine. The Robo Facility coming through. The Banshee and the Cloaking coming up as well. Again, the Prison coming about, Stalker in the way, we got a Dark Shrine in, Blink coming through, Hellion out to the right-hand side. Selena's just going to get denied, it's just going to get pushed away, nothing huge there. Sly, thank you so much for the 11-month resub. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for supporting. As y'all can see, there's DT trying to get up, so the DT rush from Clem going to strike right now. As Kira definitely struggled with those DTs in the last game. The Marines get a good jump on that Prism. Scans the main DT. The DT on the natural is going to break through the depot. And that's scary because we are just a few moments away from the scan. So if you could have just held the DT on the other side for a little bit longer, that would have been great. The scary part here is that you don't really want to scan, right, as Kua steps forward. He wants to scan only when he knows he's got the Prism pushed away, and that's exactly why, because then the Prism comes back in, saves the DT. A lot of Marines go down. The Banshee shows up, though, and Clem's preparation against a Banshee is not exactly the best. The problem is that as it cloaks up, Clem has no detection. Now, he's going to get an Observer on the way, but he's going to lose 6 probes, so Kira's going to get a little bit of a push back here. He's going to get some damage in return. And a second Banshee coming up the left-hand side as Kua gets 6 workers back on his favor. And I like that. And the thing is as well is that the Banshee play from Kua here is much less of a commitment than the DT play from Clem. So given time, I think this overall is something that you look at as like, okay, this worked out nicely for Kua because you can get, you know, the Banshee play sets Kua further back, or doesn't set Kua as far back as the DT play sets Clem back. Banshee here gets jumped on immediately. Good defense from Clem as Kua cannot find a way into the natural. Obviously, a few more workers coming about as we have the Observer still sitting there. Banshee just chilling. Stalker's going to shoot. The Banshee taking damage. +1 attack coming in. The extra probes coming online. And the Prism heads up the sides. DT swiping, a few SCVs going down. Again, the upgrades all coming through from Kua. I mean, I like that, obviously, Clem, and with DTs in his hands, has so much potential. That one DT and that Prism did so much. The Viking finally gets rid of it, but that Prism nearly died. If that Prism died, none of this happens because that DT would have died as well. But so much more damage, and Clem, as he does with Terran, does it with Protoss as well, extends the usefulness of each and every unit to their absolute maximum. It really is an incredible thing to watch. Thanks, the Marines move about. Just going to see again Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 continuing to come through. We'll see. This is a moment here where Kiwa's army is kind of wanting to get across the map. You're 2 base Terran, upgrades finishing. If you don't go soon, I think you're going to be in some trouble. Bio stepping through, the tank's going to be right there. The Raven overhead. And defensively, it's masses of Zealots. First Colossus is on the way. How soon can Kua fight? He does have the Raven, and anti-armor missile on this clump of Zealots would be incredible, of course. Force field set up. The tanks will begin to siege. Here come the SCVs. We are going to have one Colossus soon. And the Raven, yep, anti-armor missile into the center. Clem didn't move the Zealots, so I was trying to split them there, so that is a pretty big hit. He obviously split a few into the natural, so that helps, as there is a Matrix available if that's what Kyo wants to do. I think he's going to try and auto turret instead, but he actually doesn't get it off, as now the Raven not casting anything at all. Now going to try and drop some auto turrets into play in the back lines, as he is going to break on through the Zealots. The Bio is still around. Can the Colossus protect you? There's a lot of army supply in favor of Q. The Prism goes down, which means the Colossus is exposed. A few Zealots and a Stalker or two are not going to make the difference, as now the probes pull in from Clem. The Banshee shows back up as well. I mean, Q has committed a lot to this. He realizes what he has to do. He gets into the natural. Robot facility must die. You cannot let another Colossus spawn, and he makes sure that that will happen. Scan gets rid of an Observer. Q is going to be good on Steam City, diving through with the SCV pull on 2 bases to tie this series 1-1 in the best of 7 grand finals. Beautiful. But it's one of those features which is unlikely to be seen when you only see it 5 or 6 times. But if you see it on the ladder, I think it'd be pretty neat. To talk about that in a second as we do our intros. In the bottom left of this Team Liquid Grand Final, it is going to be Kua, the Blue Terran, taking on teammate Protoss in the top right. Clem. Yeah, so the interesting idea here is that these are rock towers that collapse, and when they collapse, they kill the blue minerals. So this base here is like a full mineral base with half gold minerals. But it's obviously super exposed, but you can knock down these rocks to give you some extra defense behind the mineral line, but you lose access to the blue portion of the minerals. Very interesting. It's actually kind of cool that so many significant, like a significant number of resources on the map can be just deleted by the rocks. That's what these little triangles signify. They signify, hey look, you can, these 3 mineral patches will die, this mineral patch will die. It's interesting. A little bit of a unique mechanic. SCV scouting, probe scouting, both players looking to get across the map, but Clem is looking for the engineering bay, Kira is looking for the engineering bay block as well, to try to force Clem out of position with the initial nexus, and maybe something that Kira will try and take advantage of perhaps. Obviously Clem just scouting in, we'll see what is up here, as the SCV pulls in just as last time as well, and get that ready to go. It's going to be seen on Nexus, and our Cybercore continues to come on through. Have ourselves the SCVs gathering, the probe pulling back. Factory is going to be coming up as well. We get that factory finished shortly, and we get Nexus building on the 3rd base. And drop a battery down. So yeah, I'm just going to take this position. There's nothing too crazy about that. It's a very typical response if you don't see the engineering bay coming up in time and you can't pull the SCVs to, or pull the probes to deny it. Leans the Marine. Just going to be able to get rid of that Adept, so that Adept will go down. Adept steps up. Again, there's the Phoenix as the Adept continue to come about right now. Lanes, 4 of them from Cure. And try and come up, so just trying to take advantage of the fact that obviously Clem is going to be a little bit drawn across, and yeah, these probes are exposed. There's a Phoenix that's going to show up and lift up one of these Hellions to take away a little bit of the potential. Clem playing run around on the probes, and we are going to see them stacking up. No, we hit the Adept right there. I mean, this is 100% a just fully focused probe situation. We are going to get 7 in the end. That just could have maybe been 8 or 9 if he didn't send that one volley off on the Adept. But good damage done early from Cure as the Phoenix. Obviously, again, like I said, at some point I thought we'd see Phoenix from Clem in this series, and this is going to be it right now. Yes, guys, this is a best of 7. This is all best of 7s today. I know usually you step up the best of in the finals, but I figured a best of 7 into a best of 7 was already enough for the players. And it's enough for us as well in terms of testing the maps, so... Marines will just push on out. A couple of Adepts got chased away already. Oh, need to be careful with those Phoenix. There's obviously it's a lot of anti-air, and with too much anti-air, those Phoenix aren't going to be able to do too much at all. Cyclone locks on. Phoenix gets chased up the left-hand side. We had a charge upgrade into this. The stim pack coming through. Combat shield starting as well as a few more Marines. Best of 15, alright. We used to do 15 maps, all maps played for the Grand Finals, but then the Grand Final also took place on a separate day for the TLMC. We used to play all the maps other than one for the first few TLMC tournaments that we did. It was fun. Yeah, there was obviously like a difference in first and second place prize, but then each map in the final was just worth money as well. Yeah, it was fun. Different era of StarCraft 2. Never forget Innovation going like 12-3 or something against Sue. That was not Sue's day at all. Into the Cyclone, just going to get there. The Phoenix get turned around once again. I still got all those upgrades, Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 coming up currently. Cyclone locks on. Phoenix going to get chased over to the sides for a few moments. Excuse me again. Once again, Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 all coming through. Missile turret coming up as well. Get those upgrades finishing very shortly from Cure, and what does he want to do as those upgrades complete? He's going to chase away a Phoenix here and gets a kill, always great. Clem's arming is just Phoenix and units right now. I mean, he went into the charge as a follow-up, so no Colossus, no splash damage. I mean, to me, this is absolutely the time where Cure wants to attack and at the very least try to get something done. Clem has 4 more gates coming online. He desperately needs as many Zealots as possible to deal with this sort of an attack. And so every single gateway finishing is going to be huge for him. There's a couple more just finished up already, so he's now on 6. Cure coming around from the right-hand side. The Phoenix are going to be right there. We're going to turn those away. The Marine stim is a little late, but you force the Phoenix away to the left. Now you see those Zealots. I think you can fight this. You've got enough Marines. Like I say, it's reinforcing Zealots that would really make the difference right now as Cure respects it a little bit. Sits outside the front. Those Phoenix going to try and come through again. Still got the Cyclones. They're a little bit of range doing a lot for you right now. Those lock-ons just chipping away at that Phoenix HP bar little by little. Yeah, I think he respected this way too much. I think he thought there was going to be like 6 or 8 Zealots coming from the left side as well, but there was 2. I think he absolutely could afford this. Now the Zealot count's a bit better. First High Tempest coming in. He gets some reinforcements here as well. Secure. We'll have a few more units. He's already stimmed here though with everything. Yeah, those Archons make a big difference, and the Sentry gets an energy overcharge, so Guardian Shield / Force Field's available to help the Zealots get a better fight. I do think Clem was in a position where he just wasn't quite ready for this fight at first, but now I think the time has passed, he's got it. However, some Widow Mines here as well. Oh, the Widow Mines are really good for Cure, so he may just make us look a little bit silly because he shreds the first round as Zealots. We push on through. First Archon is in some trouble already, low on shield. It's super low, it's going to go down. The Zealots are not making the difference. The Archon falls, the probes will pull, but Clem's army supply is not looking to be good enough as the Phoenix continue to push on in as well, but they're not going to be able to make the difference either, right? A few more Zealot Warpins, but the thing is when you're relying on Zealot Warpins a few at a time, it's usually never going to be enough. And Cure, with the 3rd CC behind this, He's going to be taking out the natural of Clem, and Cure is going to be getting up to a 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 finals. Phoenix lifting up a Cyclone. The probes keep pulling through. The Zealots are going to get busted on down, and Cure will look to take the lead in his third ever TLMC tournament finals, and his potentially... In the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player is going to be up in the series 2-1. 2 wins in a row. Will momentum stay behind him? This is Cure. On the top right-hand side, our red Protoss player, also from Team Liquid, of course, is Clem. Guys, just want to take a couple of moments to again remind you all that you can support the channel today. Appreciate you all tuning in. And if you're enjoying, do consider liking and subscribing on the YouTube, following on Twitch. One thing I definitely want to draw attention to, again, we just had a new $5 addition on the Patreon page. It was actually about an hour and a half ago, I just saw the email. But the Patreon page is where we really try and crowdfund tournaments through. So if you guys want to check out patreon.com/WardiTV, 100% of your pledges on Patreon go directly to tournament prize pools. Obviously, this tournament is sponsored by Monster. Thank you so much, Monster. If you like the other WardiTV tournaments and you want to see more and more of them, do consider checking out the Patreon page. Like I say, it's allowing us to run more StarCraft 2, and that's always our goal, to give you guys as much StarCraft 2 as possible. We want to give you guys more and more tournaments to watch, give the players stuff to play in. And if you like that idea, like I said, check out patreon.com/WardiTV. Thanks for listening to the sellout. As the engineering bay block this time from Cure gets scouted as Clem rolls a second probe to the low ground. So looks to see what's up early. This probe moves up over here as well, and is just going to go for a little bit of a scout through. Probe moving around again. The Nexus coming online. The factory and the reactor coming up as well, so we get all of this underway. Factory building, just going to be seeing the probe pulling back up toward the top. Purchase Monster because they support this tournament? Hell yeah, that's what we love to hear. Beautiful. Probe comes all the way through as we get settled down for a couple of moments. Adept coming about, the Cybercore getting the warp gate on the go as well. The Marines coming about also for the moment. Now we just have a few peaceful moments early. Like I say, a very fun map because you're playing like up the right-hand side a lot. There's rocks that expire at some certain stage. This is definitely one that's very hard to kind of conceptualize without just seeing games play on it. Hoping for a longer game here to get an idea of what's up and happening. Alien moving about again. That Twilight Council is about to complete. And Gateway is coming through. Add some probes onto that as well. The Marines are going to be right there. They step forward onto these Adepts. And the first Adept already taking some pretty hefty damage. The Hellion going to try and dive through into the main base. Does Zerg Rocks die over time? Yes, they do. If basically from the start of the game, they should die at about 7.5 minutes or so, I believe. Unless Creep touches them. If Creep touches them, the Rocks actually stop dying. Obviously, that's completely irrelevant in modern-day StarCraft because Zergs don't exist. But just in case Protoss find a way to engineer Zerg creep into their favor, they could stop the Rocks dying. It's not super cool because you can also mine out the gold minerals here and get to this base. There's this base that's kind of in the center of the map also. As we do see the medevac loading up. So it's going to be the drop up the right-hand side, obviously. The Clem main base is going to be exposed up this right side in general, so we'll see what happens as we head on through. And a couple of Adepts from Clem poking about. As we do see Marines already here to greet this, and a Siege Tank on the way through as well from Cure currently. As Clem is in position with 2 Stalkers, going to start putting damage on the medevac, but he's going to say, I don't care. He's going to start to unload those Marines. Widowmine's going to zone the Stalker to the side. That's actually really nice because the Widowmine basically stops the Stalkers chasing in. Actually going to lose a Stalker there too, so this is really rough because, yeah, Widowmine hitting the Stalker is one of the better trades you can find, but the Adepts get in. They actually don't kill too much just yet. They shade back into trouble. If the Adepts hadn't shaded, this would have been fine, but I think Clem's obviously preoccupied trying to clean up this attack in the main base. We can lose 5 probes in total. So yeah, this drop actually distracts and does a good job, because without that, I think this could have been even worse for Kira. I think he actually would have had more SCVs being lost, so yeah, mistake from Clem as he struggles to keep up around the map. The Hellion dives through to make it +1 probe kill, trying to slow those things down as much as we can. Stalker coming through, probe still coming in, add a couple more barracks on the way from Kira. And yeah, a couple of Marines in the siege tank coming about. Put a barracks or 2 into that as well. You can see our Stalker's going to step on forward. Going to come up this ramp and bang bang. A couple Stalkers taking hits already. Marines also coming through. So another few Stalkers just getting warped in. The Nexus and the battery coming about. Bunker very much so coming through still. 2 pros going down. That Banshee's still going to go shooting. Again, a couple of workers being picked away at right now as the Observer comes up from Clem as well. The Stalker's going to try and hit the Marines. Just going to be lifting back up into the Prism, and yeah, Clem in some trouble. The Stalker's definitely not doing as much as he would like them to right now. Is the Banshee here just going to sit and trade, and yeah, for a no-cloak Banshee, getting a whole bunch more workers is huge, and Kira is definitely making a stance in this series right now. Winning this game, going up 3-1 would be absolutely huge for him. As our Stalkers continue to fight. Again, a lot of people asking, why is Clem playing Protoss? Clem has played Protoss versus Terran exclusively since Home Story Cup. He's not played a TvT since Home Story Cup. He has officially switched to playing Protoss versus Terran as his main race. This is not a part-time thing. This is a complete commitment. I'm pretty sure he's not practiced TvT for the last few months. So yeah, he's been practicing pretty much purely PvT. He's been custom in PvT as well. Obviously, it's not quite working out for him here, but just to be clear, this is not like Clem is... Like, Clem has beaten Kira multiple times with his Protoss over the last few months as well. I would actually say, to me, based on results, Kira would be the underdog against Clem's Protoss. Because Kira has been... Kira has been kind of struggling a lot. Like, he's been 3-0, 2-0, just off the recent memory that I have. I think he took a map against Clem in a more recent WardiTV Monday, but generally Clem wins these series. Like, Clem is the favorite against Kira in PvT. Can players race switch on each? I don't see the rest of the match, but on each map you can race switch as much as you want during the series. We removed all the rules attached to that. If you want to switch races, you can. Just going to see the bio still pressing upwards. A couple of tanks going to be with this army, and Kira obviously has done a lot of work this game. This is going to be a very difficult defense for Clem, who is in a struggling position. Let's see, he's going to pop the Guardian Shield. The Zealots just going to dive. Obviously, the faster you go, the more unprepared Kira is. The Widow Mines are going to get so many of these Zealots, though, because the Zealots naturally clump up to try and get rid of the Siege Tanks. So the Siege Tanks provide a very important role. As the Guardian Shield fades, we'll replace it with another. I'm going to say Kira could run up toward the Natural. There's a pretty good choke there. He's actually going to hide behind the Force Fields. I don't think it matters. Any fight here is going to be pretty good for Kira, as we're not going to see the intricacies of torches, as Kira is going to go up 3-1 in this grand final. Kira looking for his second TLMC tournament victory. As the Robo facility goes down, the gateway is still taking damage. A few more Zealots will get shot away at as well, so they will continue to drop. Our Stalkers get chased. More Zealots from the high ground run to the low ground. They get cleaned up. We continue to hunt. This is going to be Kira with too much, and a 3-1 lead in his favor. Kira is a map away from winning this TLMC tournament and pulling out a bit of an upset. Clem has a better record with Protoss against Kira in recent history than he does in TvT. I don't know why you guys think Clem switching to Terran is going to help him when he hasn't played TvT for months. I don't think going back to a matchup you've not played for months is going to help you against someone who's also very good in the matchup. Nexus top right belongs to Clem, and he needs 3 in a row to win this one out. Kira in the top left, up 3-1. I'd be excited for Kira to win, man. It'd be nice to see someone different win in a big tournament, you know? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Speaking of bigger tournaments, we've just announced the WardiTV Boomer Bash, $3,000 for players of 28 years of age or older. Sorry, Clem. Sorry, Max Packs. You guys ain't getting money in this one. That's going to be happening later on this month, so it's going to be fun. I'm going to think about maybe adding in a special group stage for players who have not played an official match in a set amount of time. Just one group out of the 4 groups. I think I might try and set one group aside for some players that haven't played in a long time. I think that'd be pretty fun. Double gas here from Q once again, setting up on the more aggressive side of life. Who am I thinking of? Whoever wants to play. I have no opinions. Maru played a tournament last week. Maru played Pigs tournament. Good Bunny today was sick. All the series today have been pretty sick. I mean, Clem Max Packs might not have the scoreline that said it was sick, but those 2 longer games were so good. Q Bunny was a really awesome series. You could probably argue that this has been the least exciting series of all so far. The first game was actually very good, but I think since then Q has been kind of just smacking Clem a little bit, so see if Clem can get back on track here as Reaper gets turned away. We're actually going to see the Deb coming back in, gets 2 shots off from the Reaper, which is nice, but there's no follow-up to kill it, and that is going to be backing off. Maru also isn't 28 plus. Yeah, great point. Maru's not old enough to play. Never going to step back through, just going to hit the Reaper a little bit, and Battery is going to go down on the front of the natural. A couple of Reapers come back over. Hey guys, the thing with the Boomer Bash is that it actually is like 95% of players can actually play in it. It's really just a very anti-Clem, Max Packs and Cyril tournament. We're giving the other guys a chance to play without having to deal with the best of the best, you know. The title maybe overextends the difference in the tournament to what you might expect. Like, we really could have called it the you Clem and Max Packs for sick of you taking all of our money tournament, but you know we didn't. You know, like we could have called it that one, but we went for the Boomer Bash instead. Make it 30 plus. Yeah, I considered, but our sponsor agreed on 28 plus originally, so yeah. Couple Reapers hop into the medevac. I'm just going to be jumping into the main base. A couple Stalkers right there, and they're going to deflect beautifully. So good defensive position from Clem as Cure goes Banshee tank. This is a great map for just pushing Marine tank Banshee on because it's flat ground all the way across. And even into the third. Okay, so Clem takes a fast third as well, so it's going to be flat ground all the way across. So a fast push from Cure is absolutely on the cards right here as we come through. And the Talon gets cancelled. The Stalker and the Adept going to try and fire up a little bit as well. Medevac boost to the top. And again, that blink about to finish up. The Stalker's going to be there. Medevac keeps pushed away. You can see our charge going through. The tank about to finish up. The Marines coming in. And a couple more barracks there as well, as our probe's just going to long distance off the third until it gets finished up. Again, the barracks and the engineering bay coming through. The Stimpak coming in, a few more Marines coming about. The Banshee is going to show up, and Clem's not got preparation in the main or natural. Uh-oh. There are 2 observers, so we can split them, but then we've got to split the Stalkers as well effectively. The Banshee in the natural doesn't chase. The Banshee in the main going to get a couple more kills maybe still. Firing quite a few shots actually into the assimilator is unfortunate, as Kua is pushing, and like I say, you're going to arrive very quickly coming onto this 3rd base that's forward from Clem, but he decides to back away. And I think a lot of this as well is that the Banshees have been dealt with, so now Clem is back in position on the 3rd before Kua was set up. If Kua was able to walk in and siege, I think he would have just gone for it. But I think Clem cleaned up the Banshees soon enough right now. Couple tanks will stay sieged up then, so they're just going to play defensive instead. Clem going to hit the charge, and his extended thermal, his Colossus coming up, and so I'm expecting to see maybe soon extended thermal lands as well as we get into the tech stage of this game for him. Stalkers blink underneath, this Banshee gets turned around, 3 probes falling so far, and the Stalkers will just continue to protect against that Banshee in the upper right-hand side. Hobbs catches in against Impact, Combat Shield +1 coming through. Colossus is out. We're just getting a second Colossus started. So no Thermal Lance yet. I think players have been delaying Thermal Lance a lot just because of the expense of it. And because they feel as though they can get away with no Thermal Lance initially. I don't think that's kind of the case here for Clem until he's got a bit more money available. We'll start that up a bit further down the line perhaps. DC lifts off, going to move over to the 3rd. We are going to see the Stalkers getting underneath as well. Why isn't that Banshee in range? It's just the perspective of it. It's because there's a ledge here. So there's a ledge there, so this makes the Banshee, because the Banshee's essentially gone down a layer of terrain. Yeah, because the Banshee's down a layer of terrain, it looks like it's closer than it actually is. That's why. It's just it's an optical illusion in the StarCraft. Why doesn't he blink down the ledge? Can he actually blink on the ledge? Is that a thing? It looks like a real ledge, no? No, you can't? Ew. Then what's the point of the ledge, apart from to make things look like you should be able to kill them? Baited by the map makers, guys. Fire gonna load back up off of the top side as we have those drops trying to set up, but Clem is controlling this top side area pretty nicely. The medevacs peel away, the 4th base on the way in from Clem as well. Zealot, Stalkers, Colossus, Sentries gathering up. We are going to get ready. Guardian Shield pops. We're going to start to charge on in. So we commit on through. A couple of Widow Mines are going to go instantly onto the Zealots as Clem loses a lot here straight away. That was not the fight. Those Widow Mines did so much for him. Now he's going to try and micro out of the micro into the retreat. But yeah, his Zealot just got absolutely blasted. Not the fight for Clem as he pulls back with the Colossus. Now 3 Colossus at home, but he lifted up a Zealot by mistake. And so the Colossus didn't fit in, so he did lose one of them. So a little bit of a miss micro from Clem as the bio chasing gets turned around, pushed the other direction. Marine Marauder Viking, couple extra Widow Mines still coming through, add some more upgrades in from Kua. And yeah, just a misjudged attack from Clem, who really felt like he could go, and obviously not the case at all. +1 ship weapons, +2 attack coming through. +3, +1 on the side of Clem as well. And Colossus is still going to be popping out. Just going to be running to the front here. Zealot Stalk, Colossus Sentry gathers. And we are going to be seeing this army of Clem continuing to settle on through. Army gathers up. Protoss moving around the top side. We've got ourselves the Prism on the bottom left, hanging about as well. +3 attack, +1 armor. All of that still building. We had a few more Stalkers into play. The Prism makes its way out over the right-hand side as Zealot Stalker Colossus gathers up again. They got a few zealots unloading, and the bio army gathers up. Here comes an army in the upper right-hand side as the Stalker Colossus will gather. A couple of Widowmine shots coming through. Clem trying to pose a threat on a couple of different angles. Colossus are going to fire. A couple of sense towers and some trouble. I like that because it removes the idea of information later on. These zealots on the bottom side going to charge through again. Widowmine, we actually split from it though. Good control as the Stalkers try to capitalize, get rid of some Vikings, and protect the Colossus. As Kira not allow that fourth. Clem going into the fifth base already, into the bottom right side. He push in up through the top. The zealots are going to charge forward, and our Stalkers and our Colossus there. Again, a good threat. But the tank is in a good position too. I like that tank because it does a lot of kind of pushing you back, and now the zealot count has been withered away on this side as well. So we are getting into this fourth. It's going to be cool though. Clem coming in from this different direction, but he actually has potentially the chance to get pincered a little bit, and Clem's going to have to retreat. So let's try and stand their ground. It's not it at all. Clem was not ready for Cure just to come down from the two sides, and Cure looking for his first ever official victory against Clem's Protoss. Again, he's never beaten Clem playing Protoss in the last few months. He's 0-5 against him, potentially in the biggest series that they will play against each other in this matchup, and at least so far. It is looking as though Q is going to get it together and pull out the victory, because that was a massive win for him. Clem gets the Disruptors, but this is going to be desperation mode Clem now. He is going to be in a difficult position. He's going to have to try with Disruptors to buy time, but he's only got two. His fourth base in trouble. He just stepped forward there, and Cure is able to collapse in on him. I like the idea of changing the direction of attack, but the setup was not there for it, as he will push the Vikings back with a Disruptor shot or two, but it's just not going to be enough. Cure is going to get the victory here as he takes it 4-1 over Clem in the grand finals of the TLMC tournament.